I'm just gonna kill myself.
What he's trying to do is essentially gain. The trick is known as loop speed. You gain loop speed and you land on the wall and you just run up it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the idea. It saves about 15 seconds. Okay, he's on the tree now. And then once it gets to a certain point, he's going to do a spin dash off the tree.
Okay.
Call moonshot. So he did the spin dash, but what happened is he got stuck on the tree. If you hold your camera angle far enough over and hold right enough, you shouldn't get stuck on it. But yeah, it can be kind of tricky to get. But assuming you get the spin dash off the tree, you should be able to land later into the level.
Yeah, now usually I'm somewhat consistent with this, but obviously when it matters, I'm not getting it. Like, there we go. Alright, let's see if we can get it now.
There's multiple variants of this tree run. It's there's moonshot, which is what FrogSkater is trying to do now. There's also task run, which is the harder version of the wall run. You have to get like a decent wall run, and then you do some spin dash and run along the tree in a specific way so that you don't fall off, and then jump off and use a pause extend, which is a pause hover. And pause hovers just allow you to maintain how long you are in the air, if that makes sense.
Hey, good job, Frog. Good job.
I'm glad I actually did it. I am so nervous, but I'm glad I got it. And I didn't get loop speed. Does someone want to explain what I tried to get there?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Dej.
So, basically, you know, loops have automated triggers that give you speed, and what you can do is homing attack specifically at the bottom of the loop, and you can gain a bunch of speed if you time it correctly. Yeah,
alright, now I want to take it over to Tor. Like we've just done, we'll just explain the skip. He'll be doing a bit of unusual movement, but if we try to explain all of that, then that would just take too much time. So go ahead, Tor, get to the skip.
Oh, I should take my mouse. Alright. Well, this is CGS. It's a skip in one of the later stages in the game. It's a pretty long stage without the skip. There's also a CGSS, which is a much faster skip than CGS, but it's really precise and pretty difficult to do. So, I'm just going to be doing CGS.
Yeah, okay. CGS stands for Crazy Gadget Skip, by the way, because skipping Crazy Gadget.
I'm just going to restart because this is not good.
Yeah, I find myself doing that quite a lot. If I don't get a good movement, I just reset. Not in runs, obviously, but...
Well, I just got stuck up there.
Yeah, you can use a bounce to get up and still hit the container to keep going, but it can be easier to just reset you, I guess. Yeah, he's approaching it soon.
Yeah. What's gonna happen is I'm gonna do a spin dash jump and get to an area with gravity I'm not supposed to have. And so I'm gonna be on a wall and get to a certain room. Like this.
Alright, nice jump.
Yep. Alright.
Nice job.
So now we're in this room where we have to get down to this little slope here. It can be a little sketchy sometimes.
Yeah, you have to have enough speed to get onto the loop. It can just be kind of awkward to get.
It kind of helps in neutral state before getting on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we
nice.
Go. Hey, just...
Nice job.
We got it again, though. It's okay. Then there's this enemy here we have to kill to get through the... We can just be on our way. Now this is, I guess, the most daunting part of the skip. It can kill a lot of runs. You gotta do a bounce and aim for a certain spot in this wall here. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah.
Nice job.
There you go.
Just fall into the back of the goal ring there and skip a lot of the stage.
Alright, nice job, Tor. Getting that first try for fairly new runners like me and Tor isn't exactly the easiest thing, but... So, we're going to go on to Pyramid Cave now. Now, there are a few skips that we're going to be going over, because this is a very... I'd say this level has the most skips, and if I could spin dash, there we go. Let me restart that. So... I'm not very good at explaining this, so Seraphim, did you want to explain how, like, I'm going through this loop fast, this tunnel?
Oh, and the tunnel speed?
Yeah.
Oh,
God
sure.
damn it.
So what Frog is trying to do is he's trying to hug the corners of the tunnel there to increase his speed. I forget exactly how it all works, but there's different parts on the loop that help you increase your speed. I don't know if Deja, you have a better way of explaining it, but...
Deja, we'll be right back. So,
Oh.
Charbox of it. Another thing I'm not too sure about. So, okay, well that was just an embarrassment. Hold up. So if we spin dash hover onto this, if I can spin dash hover. Okay, this is. There we go.
You got this.
So that's supposed to be really easy, but of course. So you kind of just spin dash in that certain spot. If the Charbox isn't there, you cannot get it. So it has to be there, and that's why it's called. Hence why it's called the Charbox hover. So we're just gonna go through this. Now, the most fun part of the run is where we get the bounce, and we're able to do super bounce. So obviously you've seen me bounce before, but we initially get it in this level. So the super bounce, I think I best let Seraphim explain it before I choke on my own words.
Yeah, so we do super bounces to do a couple of different things. So one of the things we found in this game is that if you take a lot of your horizontal momentum and then you do a bounce, all of that horizontal momentum gets converted into height. So if you hit a wall, if you bounce into a wall while you're going at a very fast speed, you'll get a way more height than you're supposed to. And by doing that, we can get through parts of the level in ways we're not supposed to do it. So we use it to gain a lot of height. We'll use it on Pyramid Cave. We'll use it on Egg Golem, which is one of the bosses in the game. And then, are you doing Snake Skip?
Yes, I am. I'm going for all the skips, yeah. So there's also another skip right after that big door skip that I did, where it's super precise. As I meant to, right? So you have to be in pretty much this exact spot and aim for a certain spot of the door. And if you get the right angle, that happens.
Yeah, doors don't exist in this game.
Nope. I think SA2 is a very useful game to do exhibitions for to start, because a lot of skips we won't have enough time to explain because there's usually loads of skips right after. So yeah, again, I'll be using the super bounce. We're going to go up here, and one of these snakes we're going to use to get across here. So, like so. Boom. You can explain that if you want.
Yeah, so Frog did the second way that will use the bounce bracelet to break the game. What you can do is if you get onto an angled object or something and you do a spin dash and then you bounce, Sonic will carry his momentum at a horizontal angle, and that lets us get across certain chasms and do other things in order to get to places we're not supposed to. This is used heavily in a couple spots in the run, most notably on the last stage of Hero Story, which is Final Rush. We use a bounce angle to get around kill planes at the start of the level and fall to the end of the stage, and it saves about a minute. So you can utilize the angle of the bounce bracelet off an angled object or platform to make Sonic do some really wonky things, but also help us to do things we're not supposed to do in order to go faster.
Yeah, and if you listen closely to his explanation, that would easily explain what happened at the end there. We essentially just did what we did with Snake Skip at the end of that loop there, and we can just make it to the goal ring without having to take the jump pad. Alright, so we didn't plan this far at all. Did you want to do hidden base?
I think we're good.
Well, how long have we got to do exhibitions? It depends.
We have like 2 more minutes left. So.
Okay, I mean, I can just do hidden base. I just thought I'd give you a bit of spotlight, but
we could also show CE skip, since that probably isn't gonna happen.
Yeah, sure, I'll go for it.
All right. So in the first level of the game, there's a very inconsistent skip that I'm going to go to here. It's you go off a ramp at a speed you're not supposed to by getting by some dash pads that actually slow you down. And then if you do it correctly, which even with the setup can be extremely inconsistent, then you hit the wall and hit dash pads and fly off a ramp and go out of bounds and skip half the level, pretty much. And while I'm doing it, Seraphim can explain it a little more.
Yeah, CE skip is very, very challenging because you have to have the appropriate speed and positioning in order to get the skip. Now, the interesting thing about CE skip is that there are different positions on this ramp slope area that will allow the skip to work. So essentially what you have to do is find the right speed and positioning in order to get the skip every time. So what you saw Tort do there is he did a pause buffer on the ramp. Some runners do this, some don't. But essentially what you're trying to do is carry a certain speed through the speed pads and hit the edge of the ramp, which will give Sonic enough momentum. And there we go, you got it.
Nice job.
To get flung into the level. This trick saves 30 seconds. However, if you don't get it first try and you keep grinding for it, you may end up losing time overall. So usually most runners in a race or marathon situation go for it once and then move on.
Yeah, and that's pretty much CE skip. Right, so I reckon we should start with the race. And if we have enough time at the end, I'd like to show a special little glitch on Sand Ocean. So, yeah, right, I want to get set up then.
Yeah, same.
Okay,
so we'll let you guys get ready and then we'll do a countdown then.
Yep. You know what, I've not done a Japanese one in too long, so this is it. Japanese does nothing for the game. Well, the Japanese version of the game does different stuff, but not the language change.